Lovely guest, and then Connor holding it down in the back. He's back again today, so serving us champs. Keep them coming, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We have these classy pink solo cups that we're serving in, so just trying to stay classy.
Solo cup.
You do?
I live for a solo cup. Nothing wrong with it.
A pink one at that.
A pink one, right? And you dressed your tie perfect.
Who knew?
All right, so let's get started. I'm going to have you each introduce yourselves and just kind of tell us like your story, how you got here, 2 to 3 minute version of it.
Chuck holding.
I am his sister.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's how I got here.
That's how she
Right?
says her title, Jamie.
But I am Jamie's sister. My name is Caroline Manzo, and I am a housewife from New Jersey, for real. And I had nothing to do. He said, "Can you come over and help me out in the showroom?" I said, "Sure." And then he said to me, "Would you mind doing a podcast?" I said, "Okay."
That's
So
great.
I was on his panel this afternoon. Tomorrow we're going to be cooking up a storm.
We are.
And from 2 to 4 in the Viking La Cornu showrooms. Did I do that? See, I'm learning.
She's doing a good job.
And like I said, I had nothing to do in New Jersey, so I said, let's come spend a couple of days with my brother in Chicago and see his world. And every time I come, we have a great time. And now here I am with you. Who knew?
That's so great.
There
I
you
love
go.
it. I love it.
That's my story.
How many times have you been to Chicago? A bunch or?
More than I can count.
Okay.
And every time I come, there's always some sort of...
Oh no,
I didn't tell you what happened to me last night. Oh my God, true story. I'm laying in bed and my phone woke me up with an alert for a storm.
Mine too.
Oh
Wait,
shit!
really?
Every
So
time.
What? No.
Every time you come
Okay.
to the storm?
A few years ago, I came and he lived in Barrington at the time, and he said, "We're going to go into the city and have dinner."
Yeah.
So we have dinner, and we're coming back. I said, "Jamie, it must have rained here because there were all leaves on the ground and some branches as well."
Okay.
We pull up to his house, and it was a legit hardcore tornado.
Oh my
Went
gosh.
through his property, and all the trees were down. Now I am dying laughing because we can't even get to his door. We can't
You're
even get
like,
to his
oh,
house.
you got a mess here.
Then when I came for his wedding, monsoon. Then the next day it was outdoors, and my fabulous shoes got ruined because they got stinking. So every time I come, I bring the rain.
I was gonna say, I think it might be you, because sometimes we have great weather.
But after rain comes flowers. So
Oh, there you go, there you
Mother
go.
Nature. Caroline is Mother Nature.
You're a force. Awesome, well thank you for being here, I appreciate it. All right, Jamie, can you introduce
So I am Caroline's brother. I'm Jamie
This is cute that
Laurita.
you guys are starting
I
like that.
am a chef, I'm a designer, party planner, event planner. I work in the Viking La Cornu showroom. I'm their brand ambassador and the creative director for the company. So I build beautiful showrooms for the brand. My background is in music. I've traveled the world with incredible musicians, everybody from Madonna, Sting, Steven Tyler, all the biggest names. I am known throughout the music business for somebody that brings the comforts of home, which is why the brand hired me to create that within the showroom. So the showroom experience is completely different. If you want to visit our showroom, you're going to get something that you're not going to get anywhere else. So that's me. I like a party.
I love that. Okay, so Jamie, first question for you, since we're at the Merchandise Mart and we're here for Design Chicago. What was it like going into like the showroom world? You know, because it was a new world for you coming from like private chef and everything else you did with music.
Right.
Was it an easy transition or?
To be honest, I'm the kind of guy that loves a challenge, and
Okay.
as an interior designer and a chef, I understand the best results come from the biggest challenge. For me, when I was challenged with designing a showroom, it was really the first time that the public would be able to see something that I created. So it was a little intimidating to think about if you think about the process too much, I don't think you get the progress. So to answer your question, I was excited and motivated to do the job, and I knew I had a very short window of time to do it. So I really didn't have time to invite anxiety or anything into it.
Which is kind of the best way to do it, just like run.
You gotta let at that point, I just had to let my, say a prayer and let my freak flag fly and accomplish the task.
I really like that. That's so great. Okay, great. So, like, how do you decide what brand to work with or not to work with? I think that's a good question for both of you, just over your careers. Like, what do you consider when you're about to either work with brands or not? I think especially, I'm trying to always relate this back to like designers or young professionals. I think sometimes it's easy to just grab for everything. Like if it's money, you go for it. And I think, especially when you're starting out, that's a little tricky. So
That is a great question.
I'm gonna try to give you some zingers, you
That's
know?
a good one. I'm with you.
In my career, I am often approached to speak about or you know, social media, Instagram, tweet about a lot of brands, and you get paid for it. I turn down more than I do.
You do.
Yeah, only because, well, again, at my age, you learn that who you are is more important than what your perception, people perceive you to be. So I always walk in my truth, and if I don't believe in it, if I can't sell it with my heart because I do use it and I do appreciate it and I do believe in it, I am not going to use the platform that I have to deceive others. I think it's
That's
wrong.
good.
I think it's wrong. My bank account is crying over it, but that's life, you know? But I'm at a place, you know, I'm at a place in my life, and I always have been, that I always speak and walk in my truth, because I find when you live your life like that, and I'm not tooting my own horn, I'm rotten sometimes, but you know, it can never bite you in the butt. You know what I mean? So I only will work or will speak about something that I believe in my heart that I would use, or do use, or can be proud of. And people work very hard, and their money sometimes doesn't come easily. So shame on me for taking money out of somebody's pocket to put it into my own.
Yeah.
That's
I
wrong.
agree. That's good. That's really good.
So speaking to that, I resonate with everything that Caroline is saying, but also I think it's important to realize that age and stage of life, like sometimes will give you an opportunity that you feel like you have to take because you don't think you're going to get another one. I think it's really important to stay on brand.
Like
And
your personal brands? Or?
I think it's really important. And I feel like today there are so many opportunities, so many things. I watch people that seem really thirsty, and it bothers me. I don't think, you know, if you're thirsty doesn't mean that you have to drink everything.
Yeah.
You have to drink what I think is going to quench your career with the right frequency. And for me personally, I learned my lessons, and I think as you evolve as an adult, you realize what's important and what isn't. Most important is that you stay on brand, and like Caroline says, it's what you believe in, because these days with social media being the way it is, and with the level of eyes that you have on you instantly, people find out about you right away. They know if it's not authentic, and if it's not truly authentically you, don't pretend to be a great chef if you don't love to cook. Don't pretend to be something that you're not. I think that fake it till you make it was something that used to work, but it doesn't work today. So these days, I think you have to stay on brand, work really hard, stay authentic, and only accept the things that you know that are going to be believable. And in my life as a designer, as a food lover, and a floral lover, and an animal lover, all those things, it's really important that you let those opportunities find you organically, rather than you just trying to. And I've done it before. I've been in situations where I've made a mistake, and luckily I'm not as well known as Caroline, whereas I learned that lesson, but now I'm very careful over just maintaining my integrity of who I am and staying on the brand that I've created my whole life. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, that was good. You guys are preaching to us. This is good. I love it. Okay, so speaking of being just authentic and real, I think especially the last 2 days, I feel like a lot of the really popular panels have been on Instagram and social media, because I think everyone knows they have to be on it, but they don't necessarily know how to do it well. And especially for my age demographic that I'm targeting with Network Next Gen, the 20s to 30s, I think there's just this comparison situation, which speaks to what you were saying about being authentic and real. But how do you use social media in an authentic way? Do you guys personally use it to showcase your work, or to show just who you are? Or how are you using social media today to just I don't know, just use it? I think people are just always trying to figure it out.
I'll answer this one first because it's right in my head. We were looking at social media today. For me, I like to consider what I do art. For me, I'm only going to put out there what I feel is either going to motivate somebody, inspire somebody, or teach somebody something. I don't get the frequency. Caroline has a huge audience, and a post that I put out is not going to get the same frequency as a post that she puts out because she's got a much bigger audience. So I think, in a sense, you have to be a little bit more careful in a way. Is that true?
I'm really bad at it.
Okay.
And I'm going to say it's because of my age. I'm 58, and my brain is not wired like that. I'm more hand-to-hand, eye-to-eye kind of thing. And I'm probably the worst person to ask this question because if you look at my social media, and like you said, it is considerable, the reach I've got. It's never me. It's my granddaughter, it's my kids, it's the food I'm making, it's what I'm looking at. It is very, very rarely me.
But you're the one, you are posting your own social, right?
Let me say something.
Yeah.
I will never, ever let anyone speak for me.
Good, I like that.
And that's a big thing in my world because people hire people. And I feel bad because you're looking for, when I was in reality television, people look for a way to connect with you. And that's the only way that one-on-one they can speak to you. And isn't that not nice to have somebody else make them believe they're you?
Yeah.
That's not nice. It takes you 4 seconds. It takes you 4 seconds to put a tweet out, to put an Instagram post out. I don't answer all of them because there's just way too many, but I do read all of them. I read every single post. But it's just too, like you said, it would be a full-time job.
Yeah,
but I appreciate everybody, and they're owed the respect for me to see what they're saying. And sometimes they get angry at me, well, why don't you post a recipe? I'm too lazy to post a recipe, that's why. Who are you wearing? I have no friggin' idea what jeans. I don't know. People ask me what jeans. I have no, they fit me, I bought them, I wore them. I don't know who they are. But that's my age. I am not plugged in the way that young kids are. So I'm just kind of coasting along in spite of myself. I am the wrong person to ask that question. Maybe you could give me some advice.
Wait, no, I think that was a great answer. I think that was. It's just, you're authentic. That's you. I like that. I think that was a great answer.
It was a really good answer. And the thing is that when you're organically yourself, you can act that way. I know that I would never hire anyone to do my image. Yeah. You're the best person to represent you. But I also feel like it's super dangerous, like social media. I don't know if this is the road you want to go down, but I think it's really dangerous today because we didn't have, growing up, like in our careers, we didn't have that sort of social, the engagement, the interaction was not there. I mean, you can be you can be late at night. I've posted things late at night where I was like, I don't know, maybe I went out and I had a couple of drinks.
Maybe.
Could have happened, I don't know. And then I come home like, I gotta post this picture. And the next day my husband will call me and be like, you just posted a picture. I'm like, oh yeah, I should take that down. You know what I mean? But you gotta worry about things like that.
Careful.
You gotta be careful. And I think, kids today, it's no joke. Like people can dial you back and see what was going on. I love that. People could talk a good game and like pretend to be something that they're not. But again, it goes back to that fake it till you make it. You can't really do that today.
Yeah. Well, and eventually you get exposed, whether it's in the moment or not. Like eventually.
And sometimes that works for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're so funny. Sometimes I'll post something and it's the thing that I really don't want to post, and I get like
so many likes.
Yeah. And I'm like, I wasn't gonna post that, and I thought that was stupid. I don't even know. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so here's a good question. So I know you guys are doing a cooking show. Do you want to plug it? Like, what's the cooking show?
I'm gonna let Caroline talk.
Okay.
Jamie and I have a lot of fun when we're together.
I can't see that.
Make no mistake, Jamie is the real professional here. He is trained, he has traveled the world numerous times. He has learned under the greatest and the best and everything. I'm just a housewife that cooks for my family. Common denominator, we love what we do, we're passionate about what we do, we have fun. I'm bored, I got nothing to do. So I said to Jamie,
That's so great.
I said, you know what? My granddaughter's 2.5 years old, and she just started preschool, which I think is entirely too young. She's entirely too young. My baby is too young to be going to preschool. Yes. And every day she texts me, she FaceTimes me, Didi. No school, Didi.
Oh my goodness.
No, I don't know why she calls me Didi, but she does. Anyway, we have a great time together, and I said, you know, why don't we just do a little YouTube something, throw it out there and just have fun. Like I said, I'm at a point in my life that I just want to have fun. And for me to come from New Jersey, it's a hop, skip, and a jump. It's an hour and a half, 2-hour plane flight. Why not? I got nothing better to do. So tomorrow we're going to do a little Instagram live just to see if we don't kill each other in the kitchen, get out of each other's way. It's a test. We're going to see how we do together. And
he said he's gonna kill it.
And you know, I think the juxtaposition of me being just a wife and a mom, and him being a really, you know, educated chef and all that is kind of fun because we're brother and sister and we have the same core, but we cook very differently.
Yeah.
So it's just something fun that we're going to try out and see if it catches on.
I love that.
I have to speak to that because at the core, I'm also a housewife that cooks for my family, but she has a much bigger family. I think today, I get tons of people asking me, why don't you have a cooking show? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Truth is that I'm always too busy, but this is the first time in my life where I think we meet in the middle organically, where Caroline has a message about food and entertainment, and it really is the recipe for me as well. My success has always been about keeping it simple. I know how to throw just the right amount of sparkle and zhuzh on it to make it sparkly. I'm a gay man, come on. But at the end of the day, I feel like today people just want simple things and they want to learn a base, they want to learn a foundation. So our message is, you know, we're not going to get a James Beard Award for what we're going to be preparing, but what we are going to do is that we're going to help people build a foundation for the recipes that really build who we are at the core. I feel like the simple recipes that we both know and share. For example, there's a dish called aglio olio, where it's basically garlic and oil. It's very easy, and pasta. There's so many different versions of how to make that. Caroline does it one way, I do it another. Doesn't mean because I'm a professional chef that it's the right way.
Right.
You know, right? It's not. It's my way. She has a way of doing, but I'm going to bring some ideas to it. I'm a creative guy. She's also very creative, but Caroline does it family style, and I do it with style. So it's going to be a fun project where we're going to meet in the middle and educate people on that, you know, cooking is easy.
That's perfect.
And it creates a memory.
I love that. Okay, so kind of on that topic, I've been dying to ask you guys. So we have a lot of family businesses in the design world. Like, and I don't know if it's just because I'm more aware of it now, but almost everyone I talk to, especially kind of starting out, they're like in a family business. And I used to think, because my family has no connections, there's no business, I used to think like, how lucky to be handed this family business. And the more people I talk to about it, I'm like, wow, they feel so much more pressure, and there's more responsibility, and there's so much more on the line when you're carrying that family name. So do you guys have any recommendations for especially as siblings? I think it's cool that you said you're probably going to kill her, because I would kill my siblings if we got in a room.
I don't actually mean, maybe a few years ago when I was green and annoying, my ego would have killed. You grow up.
But like, how do you work, like what are some tips for people in family businesses, or that they're just trying to like make a family business work? I know this is kind of like a partnership you're trying, but just any kind of family tips you have just for people who are like trying to keep their relationship intact and alive, but you still have that, you know each other better than anyone else does.
I mean, I feel like a family business is a dangerous thing to be in.
Right?
In general.
Yeah.
Unless your ego's in check and that you're able to, if you know what your strengths are and you stay within your strengths and let other people be powerful too and be good at what they're good at. Everybody can't be good at everything.
Right.
You know, so I think for me, I don't have really any involvement with a family business. I've been privy to see a lot of families in a business, and the only thing I can say is that, you know, if you want to be the star in the family, you got to allow other people to be that, while you might be the worker bee or the numbers guy. The numbers guy also can also be a star, because you can't do it all.
Okay, I like that.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
And respect the other for what they shine in. My husband has had a family business for over 40 years, And they run like a machine because they respect each other's expertise in their field. So if my husband says one thing and it's about wait staff or buying light bulbs, his brother won't question him because that's my husband's lane. Stay in your lane. Because they didn't get there just because, they get there because they earned it. So respect what each other does. When one speaks, listen before you act, and then know that you have to be cohesive and work together, but stay in your lane. That's it.
I also feel it's really important to celebrate what that person and that family member has that you may not have. You know, you're not just because you're born into the same, you know, DNA doesn't mean that your DNA is exactly the same. Celebrate who they are. You know, if you're somebody that's like good at having the spotlight on you and you're great at being articulate, celebrate who that person is. I'm not a numbers guy. If somebody's great at the numbers, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that is amazing. Celebrate who they are and allow them to be, you know, powerful in that role. I think that there's a lot of family businesses out there today that I love to see. I love when I see a generational thing happen over and over again, and it can be passed down from generation to generation with respect. And I think that's really the ingredient you need in a family, A, and B, in a family business, is that you respect one another.
Respect, I like that. Okay, so speaking about cooking and entertaining, because that's what we're on right now, what's the one thing you have to make a successful dinner party just like successful? Like, what's the one thing if you had to have one?
Just one thing.
Just one. One thing that you have to make it like hit.
Passion.
Good answer out of the box. Like it.
Music.
Music, really? Okay.
I find my ingredients are food, mood, and music. So there's the food, there's the design, the mood, the floral, the candles, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like music and knowing the right music to play for your party is so important. Now, we can bounce back and forth and say if the food sucks, it's going to ruin a wedding, it's going to ruin a party. That's also true, but I find that music is the common denominator. That if it's like, I'll go to a bar, I'll go to a restaurant, I can have a great meal, but if they're playing terrible music, I can't handle it.
Yeah.
For me, it's always been about the music. So if the playlist is great and you're jamming and I feel like that's probably going to get you in the right direction first.
Okay, I like that. All right, cool. Obviously, you cook for a lot of celebrities. What's one celebrity you wish you could cook for that you haven't yet?
Oof.
And that's for both of you. So if you could cook for any celebrity.
No, I've cooked for so many in my life. I've written a cookbook with Sarah McLachlan, and I've all the different genres of music, but I really connect with Ellen.
Really? Okay.
I do. I have met so many celebrities over the years, and it wasn't just the people I was working for. It would be the party that I was throwing or the event that they were having that the guests would come and they would be of that.
Yeah.
But I love, you know, I hear a lot of different things about Ellen throughout my whole life, but when I watch that woman on TV, I want to meet her so badly, and I want to connect with her so badly because I really enjoy her vibe and her energy and her success story. I mean, when you look at Ellen, she's just this iconic. Every time you see her on television, she's like very, very consistent.
Yeah.
That would be somebody that I would just love to have dinner with, but more importantly, cook dinner for.
Okay, Ellen, you heard it here in case you're watching. You never know. Caroline.
You're gonna think I'm crazy.
Okay.
Betty White.
Oh,
Betty White. No, that's an awesome answer.
She's everything. Look at her, 90-something years old with her lip gloss on and just bringing it and talking
She's
about like
happy.
just sass.
Yeah.
She is living life and she is having fun and she has had the most amazing life. She's been up on top, she's been forgotten about, and then she brings it back 30 years later, she's on fire. And yet she wakes up every day with zest and full of life and attitude and lip gloss. Who's better than her? She's got to have all kinds of stories. She's so cute, she's huggable. Boom.
Betty White. Betty White. We should do Betty White and Ellen and you two at a dinner. You know how amazing that would be?
Oh my God.
Jessica and I will sit at the next
Universe,
table.
please listen.
We gotta manifest it. It'll
It'll
happen.
happen.
It'll happen. We can make that happen. Okay, so next thing, there are 2 surprise whiteboards underneath your chair. So if you grab that right now, they're blank. Don't be scared. Connor, do we need any Shams refill? Are we good? Do we need Connor?
Connor, what are you doing back there? You lazy
doing?
bastard.
Hey, Connor, can you fill me one up too? Thank you so much. Look
Connor,
at
you
what
know
a
what?
guy.
You can't just be cute.
Just be cute, Connor. You heard it here.
You gotta work.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Since we're in the sibling moment here, we are gonna play the game, kind of like the newlywed game, where the first 5 questions are gonna be about Jamie. The next 5 questions are gonna be about Caroline.
This game sucks.
Are you sure? Okay. All right. Thank you. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to ask you these questions, and the first 5, Jamie, you're going to write down what your answer is for yourself, and Caroline's going to have to guess what you're writing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't have to write yet.
No, you're going to write.
Oh, I'm gonna write.
You're going to write an answer, and we're going to see if they're the same. Yep. Yep.
I'm
I don't
just
want
gonna
you to
answer
change
them.
it in your head.
I got it.
Okay. All
We're
right.
gonna fail. We're gonna
Miserably.
You think you're going to fail?
No, we're not. We're gonna rock this shit.
I feel like you're gonna rock it. Just don't
Should we
cheat.
swear?
You can.
We can swear?
Can
fail.
they?
You guys now?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We think
I just
so.
did.
I haven't been told no yet. So
Shit.
all right. All right. We don't know. We don't know. Okay. What was Jamie's childhood/teenage crush? Jamie, you have to know the answer, or this won't work.
But I was busy taking care of babies.
You were busy
I
taking
already
care
know.
of it.
I already know.
You already know? Okay. All right.
I'm gonna just run a line, but whatever.
Hey Connor, why don't you actually hold the mic? This will be Connor's job. Do you want to hold the mic right then so we can pick it up? So maybe just sneak over? I don't think that's gonna work. That's okay.
I'm just
Yeah.
from the hip here.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
You got it? Okay, so now let's pass the mic to Caroline. Connor, you think you can reach? Good job. That's good. All right.
I said only because of the time, and I could be off.
And you can show us your board.
This
You can
might
show
be
us
more
your
my time than yours, so I apologize. I put Travolta or Stallone as Rocky.
Ooh, those are good answers.
Saturday Night Live, Travolta,
Ooh.
Rocky poster.
Those are good. So Jamie, what's
I would have
the real
slept with both of
answer?
those men. But I have a secret crush, and I actually told him. I was on the show.
And you told him?
I told him.
Okay, you're gonna have to reveal your board.
Donny Osmond.
That's my crush. Donnie Osmond's my
You
crush.
can't have it.
You keep
Donnie
it to yourself.
Osmond, okay.
You keep Donnie to yourself. He is my crush.
Fine.
Okay, why is Donnie your crush?
Well, he was kind of like,
He's everything.
yeah, he was kind of like, you know, he wasn't really rock and roll, and he was kind of a douche, but like he was very much, he was cute. He was really cute. And growing up with 11 brothers and sisters, we always like resonated to like the Partridge Family, or the Brady Bunch, or the Osmonds. And Donnie,
She grabs the mic.
To be fair, she said teenage crush. You were like 7 when Donny Osmond was around.
Well, I did say childhood
Oh, child,
or...
you're supposed to be on my side.
I'm sorry.
hashtag, I didn't know that he was your crush, by the way.
Oh,
See,
we're
now
learning so
we
much.
have something in common. Next question.
Oh my gosh. Connor, do you know who Donny Osmond is?
Yes, Connor, you do.
Do you really? He does. He's trying. He's trying. Okay. Next question.
I told him on this show, guys. I was on the Donny Osmond and Marie show with Sarah McLachlan when we were promoting the book. I told him, and he was traumatized. I said that I took his Barbie doll and stripped it down naked, and I had it in my room wrapped in rubber bands.
So
You did not
unnecessary.
tell him
You
that.
I did.
Very unnecessary.
And he
true.
was terrified.
My
Well,
poor
it's true.
Donnie.
You said to be truthful. He's being
Never
true.
met him?
No, but I want to.
Ooh, all right. Okay, next question. What is Jamie's pet peeve?
I
His
got it.
biggest pet peeve. Oh, he already knows.
she's not gonna
I'm
guess.
not gonna get this. I'm not gonna get it.
They only do it at
Um,
I have so many.
yeah.
You have so many
I have
puppies.
so many.
Yes.
Ooh. Okay, let's pass the mic to Caroline. When you're ready. All right, Caroline, what do you think Jamie's biggest pet peeve is?
In many different facets, stinginess.
Stinginess.
Stinginess
Okay.
of spirit, stinginess of money,
Ooh,
stinginess
that's good.
of attitude, stingy.
I like that. Wait, you can't erase your answer.
sorry.
What?
That's right.
what did you write down?
Annoying, stupid people.
Annoying, stupid people.
Jamie is it. That was my answer.
You're taking all of her
Lack of
answers.
Stop
What?
taking my answer.
I didn't know. Were you talking about this?
You're taking all my answers.
Oh
Now
my
you
God.
have the answer.
We're getting in a fight. We're getting in a fight.
How did I know? I don't know. Guys, did we know what these questions were?
No, nobody was
Oh,
correct.
God.
No one was correct.
Yes.
No one was correct.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. Okay. What was Jamie's biggest fear? Or what is Jamie's biggest fear? Biggest fear. Oh, she thinks she knows. Confidence.
I know what it is. What's my current biggest fear?
What's your current biggest fear?
Absolutely. This is my biggest fear in life.
Okay.
And this is every day, by the way.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so pass the mic to Caroline. So sorry.
His husband predeceasing him.
Oh God.
Ooh. Wait, that's right.
That's
That's.
right.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Losing the love of my life. That's
Yeah.
where I've been the most successful. I'm not a success. He's made me a happy man.
So nice.
My husband is my world. And
Aw.
if I ever lost him, all of you better come to my rescue. Got it?
Yeah, you
Because
will.
I will be shrapnel.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I'm glad you were right, but that is a sad one
So
to be
right.
right about. But yeah.
Crying.
Okay. Who does Jamie think is the most competitive between the two of you?
Who do I think is the most competitive?
Between the both of you, like who would you say is the most competitive between the both of you?
Thanks for the fight.
You're welcome. We're just trying to stir up a little trouble.
You're
know?
doing a really good job.
Thank you. All right, Caroline.
The arrow's facing the wrong way, but him. But let me explain myself.
Okay.
My personality is very go with the flow. Jamie's personality is go out and grab it.
Okay.
So I'm not talking about each other.
Right. Right.
We're at a point in our lives, it's like, who gives a shit? I'm almost
Right.
60, do I care?
Totally,
The answer is no.
totally.
So it's a matter of reaching for the brass ring. Jamie will reach for the brass ring and I'll say, all right, it's over there. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, so what?
Okay. Okay.
I think that's true, and of course I said her, which
You said
would be a
her.
natural answer.
Yeah.
I am competitive, for sure, but when it comes to her, what am I competing with?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about competition. It's about
So explain that friggin' answer.
cooperation. Caroline, I believe,
Tiger.
hold on, here it comes. Caroline to me is competitive in the sense that I feel like when it comes to what it is that we do, like for a living, she'll always say that, oh, Jamie's a professional chef, he's this, he is fancy. When she says that every time, I think, why is she saying that? Because
Okay.
I don't feel like, I don't think it's an insecurity, but it's like, I don't look at myself like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I feel like, in a way, when it comes to like the kitchen, because I have the training,
Yeah.
I feel like maybe there's like something that she feels like she needs to be more of. Caroline's great at being a mom and a great simple cook, and she makes great food. I respect her for that.
Yeah.
And I don't compete. When it comes specifically to that,
Yeah.
I'm younger than she is, so naturally she's right. I am going to be a little bit more competitive.
Okay.
But I'm a competitive person at the core. I love a competition.
But you put Caroline.
Because I think in this case, I was going with the food and with the cooking show.
Okay.
But she's also very competitive. Don't let Caroline fool you. Caroline's a boss. She doesn't fuck around.
I like that.
Caroline's a boss. She will even, I think, cut my throat if she had to.
Caroline, would you if you had to?
If you deserved it.
She deserved it. I love that. Okay. Last one for Jamie. So we're thinking what Jamie would think. If you could vote Jamie in high school for most likely to blank, what would it have been?
High school.
High school. So you got to take yourselves back to your high school selves. For Jamie in high school, if you could vote him for most likely to blank.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This is a really weird answer, but I'm going with it.
All right, Caroline, what'd you put?
Most likely to sparkle.
Oh, I love that answer. That's a good
And I
one.
think it's the same answer.
Okay,
Dance.
most likely to dance.
Yeah, I mean,
dance,
I was the kid that busted out at the Italian wedding. I'll never forget that day with Anthony Cariello, whose wedding it was. I love to dance. I danced in the
Okay.
showroom this morning. I'm the guy who will dance at any moment. I'll dance in the shower. I'll dance. You put music on, I can give a shoot who's watching.
You're just dancing.
I'm gonna dance. Yeah.
I love that.
I like being sparkly too. So.
Is he a good dancer, Caroline?
Come on.
Yes, yeah, okay. All right, so the next 5 questions, they're all about Caroline.
How fun.
The tables have turned.
Got it.
Okay, so what would Caroline say is the biggest trouble that she got into when she was younger? You know it. The biggest trouble Caroline got into when she was younger.
She was kind of a big kid. Okay. I think the biggest trouble. Well, Caroline and I were always. I'm swearing a lot. I've had 2 glasses of champagne. We're always kind of assholes. Like we
Okay.
would always make fun of people. We're good at that. We're not making fun of people. We're like instigators. So
Yeah.
we like
Just
to like.
stirring it up a
We
little.
like to stir it up. So I think the biggest trouble would have been that she would help stir the pot.
Okay. Caroline, what did you say?
I was an angel. When I tell you I was an angel, I was an angel. I think the biggest trouble I ever brought into the home was my husband.
Oh, okay.
Because
I
my father
actually-
was like, who is this guy? And why is he taking my daughter away?
Taking my angel away.
And he wasn't having it. And that's the only time I defied them in every which way when it came to Albert.
Yeah.
All right.
And my original answer, which I scribbled out but you can't see, was boys.
Boys, okay.
Because I think that Caroline, that's why I said my original comment was she was a good person. Together though, we were all shit stars. That's all our family is. But I think boys, when Caroline would bring home a guy,
That would be the point.
yeah, any one of my sisters actually.
I think that's fair.
We came from a big
That's
Italian family. It
mom-dad
was like
thing. That's good. I like
six,
that.
6 boys, 5 girls. Who should bring it home? Okay, we'll keep the guys in
Oh my god.
Italian. Whatever.
Okay, so here's a good question. If there was one thing that could really make Caroline mad, what is the biggest thing that could really make you mad? If you were like gonna go off the handle, like what's it gonna be about? Loaded question.
No, this is easy for me.
Really? Okay. I think you got this one.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Yep,
What
so-
do you think, Jamie?
So I wrote down in big letters, exclamation point, Mama Bear.
Will you show the?
If you mess with Caroline's kids, no matter who it is, you're
You're
gonna
going down.
you're gonna die. No, pretty
Okay.
much.
I like that. Hands off my kids. Yeah.
We're my kids.
Okay.
We're my kids, I will kill you. I don't care.
I will go up against the biggest, the best, the strongest, the smartest, the richest. I will be a freaking, look at me, a freaking tornado. You hurt my kids, I will come for you and kill you.
Oh my gosh. I believe you.
See, I told you.
Connor, you believe her, right? Yeah.
You're really drinking.
He said he's scared. Connor said he's scared.
Connor just peed a little bit.
Connor just peed a little.
I felt it.
Connor, you did, didn't you? Just a little. Just a
Connor,
little.
I wanted champagne.
Oh man. Okay, so who would Caroline say between the two of you would win in an arm wrestling contest?
Oh, that's the obvious, Caroline.
Really?
No,
See, she would say Jamie. Okay.
I'm a bigger person.
Bigger, stronger guy.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Wait,
gosh.
you should look at her Instagram posts. See what I mean.
Okay. If Caroline could say one place she would move besides Jersey,
Ooh.
and don't show her because I think this is a good one. One place, you had to move out of Jersey. What's one place Caroline would say she would move outside of
This
Jersey?
is hard.
It is hard. Can I say 2 places? Or just
Whatever you want. I think we're doing whatever we want at this point.
You might not get this.
I probably won't, but if she's anything like me, it would be Italy or France.
Okay.
Italy or France, anywhere in Europe? Or
Okay.
Europe, can I be broad about it?
That's pretty broad, but
I'm gonna go with Italy.
you're gonna say Italy, okay?
Am I thinking Hawaii? That's me.
Of course, my first choice would be Europe somewhere, but it's too
Yeah.
far from everybody that matters. My favorite place within driving distance in the United States ever is where I hope to have a home one day. Nantucket.
Nantucket. Okay. Didn't know.
Didn't know
All
that.
right, I like that.
Stumped me.
Nantucket. Okay, cool. Let's do for this one now. I think
Nantucket's beautiful.
Drink of choice is going to be too easy, isn't it?
What's that?
Drink of choice. Do you already know that?
Her drink of choice? I don't know it.
What is it?
Probably a lemon drop martini or
Lemon drop or dirty martini, filthy.
filthy.
Filthy dirty.
Ooh, I like it. Filthy, dirty martini.
Filthy dirty Tito's. 3 blue cheese olives.
Done.
Or a lemon drop with sugar on the
Oh my gosh, all of those sound good. Connor? No, he doesn't. Just wine. Just wine. That sounds really good.
I'm a Tito's martini with a splash of Hendrick's gin, shaken like a mother, and 1 olive.
Wow. You guys are really good at the drink. You should do a cocktail show too on the YouTube.
Shake it up, shake it up.
Shaking it up.
Shake it up, shake it up. Okay, we have 2 questions for Caroline and we're done. One song that you feel like would describe Caroline.
Come on.
Come on, Leo.
Wait, really? Is that easy?
Come on.
Everybody.
Come on now.
Sweet Caroline.
Can I tell you a story about Sweet Caroline?
Please do,
Okay.
please do.
My sons, who are 33 and 30, from when they were very young and old enough to go out until this very second, to this very moment, whenever they are at a club, a wedding, etc., no matter what time it is, and I have gotten woken up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning with my heart in my throat, and Sweet Caroline will be playing in the background, and they'll say, "Mom, your song just came on. I just want to tell you I love you."
Oh, that's beautiful.
To this very minute, both my sons.
Wow, I love that. That is.
Every girl in the audience was like,
Oh, are they single? That's what they're thinking.
They are, they're-
Wait, really? I'm single? You don't know. It could
I'm
be
not allowed
dicey.
to say. I get in trouble.
All right, all right, all right. Last question for the boards, and then we're gonna play that one risky game if you're still in for it. How many grandchildren would Caroline ideally like to have? Number. You have to pick one number. You can't do a range.
ideally,
How many do you have now, Caroline? Just the one. Aw. My mom says being a grandma is better than being a mom. Do you feel the same?
ideally.
Ideally. Caroline, do you feel like being a grandma is better than being a mom, or no?
Yeah.
My mom says yes, but like, what do you think?
You know, when people say, "Oh my God, it's a whole different kind of love," you can love them more than your children. You can't love anything more than your children. I'm
Okay.
sorry, you just can't. You birthed them, no. But my granddaughter is the light of our lives.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of love with my children. I let them fall on their face and taught them to pick themselves back up. My granddaughter, I'd like to carry around in a bubble and never see her
Aw.
cry and always see her smile. I want to protect her from all
From
things
everything.
evil in this world. Where my children were raised to be warriors against the evil, so that's a different kind of love.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. I like that. Okay. All right. How many did you say ideally?
I said 6,
Okay.
because if she's got 3 kids, she would probably want 1 each, and then at least one to play with, one to grow up with, but probably 30.
Okay. What'd you say?
So whatever God's plan is.
Aw, that's
Because, I've got the one, and like I said, she's everything. And I often say, well, can another one be this great? And the answer is, of course, yes.
Yes.
So, you know, I never say to my daughter, well, when's the next one coming? I never say to my sons, when are you getting married and have a baby? Because I am a believer in God's will and fate and where you're supposed to be in life, and what happens is what's supposed to be. So, like Jaime always says, God's trains run on time. So whatever God's plan is, and you know, the only thing I wish is, I hope I'm young enough to play with them and love them and get on the ground the way I do with my granddaughter, and I hope that, God forbid, when the day comes I die, they remember me. I want them to be old enough to remember Grandma and how much that she loved them. That's it.
So good. What you said, God's trains always run on time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to put that on my grave. God's trains run on time. Just when you think the train's not going to pull in, or when you want it to pull in, it doesn't pull in. But when it's supposed to pull in, it will. And when it does pull in, hopefully you're ready for it.
I love that. That gave me chills. That's good. And perfect to move into our weird game that you're either going to love
Yeah,
or
weird
hate.
game.
I tried to tell them not to do this game about what's in the box. It could be dead or alive. It could be moving or not moving. It could be gross or not gross. We just don't know. Like, we don't know.
So, okay.
So are you going to do it with your
It's
student?
in there.
It's in there, right?
Is it gonna screw up my wardrobe?
No. I don't think so.
I can't have that.
Don't pee. Go first.
Okay, you guys can try together.
Where is it?
Oh my
You go
God.
and tell me if I should. Don't be an ass about it. Tell me if I should.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should. It feels like a penis.
It's not a penis.
And it's always feels like it's
There's another object in there too. You found one of the objects.
Is it? I want to say something that's really bad, but I won't.
You can say it. You can say it.
Oh wait, I feel something. I know what this is.
An octopus.
No, I know what this is. I know what this
You're
is.
grabbing different objects. Too.
I know what. Can I say what it is?
If you want to.
Okay, this is a skeleton's hand.
Yes, you're correct.
And this is like a rubber octopus.
Okay, and you think it's actually
Squid.
Wait,
octopus?
hold
Squid.
on. Give me back my butt plug.
I don't think it's a good look if we do this.
It's a butt plug.
I don't.
Have fun, enjoy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Do you think squid as well?
I think it's an octopus.
An octopus. Okay, you're very, very close. It's a spider.
Oh.
Pretty gross. And then it is a hand. You
Okay.
did a good job.
All
All
right.
right, you did pretty good. 3 objects in this box this time. 3 objects. So you're looking for 3. Whenever you're ready.
Ooh. Oh, this is an easy one.
That one's
Here, look.
easy?
Yeah, here we go. I got this.
Okay,
Should I
okay.
say what it is? Or wait?
No, I think you should wait till you gotta find all 3.
This
Oh.
feels like an owl.
I got 2 out of 3. Well, let me see what you got.
Okay, okay.
Ooh. I got all 3, guys.
You do? This one was fast.
I got all 3.
It's a banana.
Okay.
Yep, banana,
Okay, so
sure.
banana, you got that.
Oh, what's on the third one? It's under my nails now. It's under my nails.
It's
Yeah.
got a hole in it and
I think my
it
nails
smells
are
like
dirty. I
Stanley's.
think my nails are dirty. Now you're freaking me out. Put a donut.
Donut, crow, and a banana.
Yes, you did it. I think it's a crow. I thought this would be scarier. Okay, if you're scared about your hands, though, you might not want to do the next one. But the next one's kind of, you ready? Okay, Jess, we're going to do the next one. We were getting a little stumped.
Yeah, whipped cream would be
Look,
good.
side note about me, I must wash my hands 70 times a day.
70
I'm
times a
little
day?
OCD about it.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know why.
Well,
It's a good habit.
this next one could be fun or weird. We'll end with this one just in case.
Can we move it here?
Yeah, you can.
Here we go.
Oh, there you go. But you can't see in, right?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Ooh, uh-oh. Uh-oh. Give me your hand.
Give me your-
Like a rotten grape.
Ooh, that feels
Is
like
it a
rotten
rotten
grapes.
grape?
It feels like
Yeah.
really weird grapes.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't know how you knew, honestly, and I'm not kidding, disgusts me.
Why?
Oh
Because it disgusts me. I can't stand a bad grape.
no! Really?
Oh, makes me gag.
Really?
Pasta like that has nothing on it.
Yeah, you guys are right. That's it.
And
That's
it's
it.
like a weird cut though. It's not like spaghetti.
Can I tell you a
It's more like
secret?
bucatini.
Oh, so it's bucatini.
It's bucatini.
So Jamie, just so you know, those grapes actually came from Jessica's refrigerator.
Girl,
and
you
she
gotta
was
clean
like,
that
she literally go, can I eat these? I was like, I don't think so.
I don't think that ever came out of me.
shit. What's this?
That's
Oh,
just a
not- I don't
napkin.
like
That's
that.
just a
It's
napkin.
gross.
No, I wanted to
Oh,
get rid
they
of the
gross me out. Grapes gross me out.
Why do grapes gross you out so bad?
I'll tell you why. Because
Tell me why.
when you, as a chef, I'm always looking for fresh produce. They're the thing that you forget in your refrigerator. That you're like, oh, I'm in Mariano's. I'm gonna go buy these beautiful grapes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat all these beautiful grapes. And if you don't pick them off the vine, wash them, bring them home, put them in a bowl, and have them out in front of you, you forget about them.
That's true. That's true.
And then like you revisit them 3 weeks later,
And they're
you're
gross.
like that.
Yeah.
And then you try to eat one, and the rest are just so disappointing.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Would you go green or purple? Is it purple? Well, you know what I mean. You
No,
go green.
no, girl. The darker the grape, the sweeter the juice.
Really?
Green.
Green. Okay.
Green and firm.
Green and
Dark as can be.
Okay.
Almost black.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, we're gonna do just like to close. Thank you so much for doing this, you guys. You're awesome. I already feel like we're best friends. I'm really excited. So, can you just give our like network connection group? They're 20s to 30s across the country. Some of them are business owners. Some of them are just starting in their career, fresh out of school, but they're that kind of age range. Can you just give them whatever your like life advice would be? It could be career advice, but it could be just like life advice. Like what kind of advice would you give?
Hey kids. I would say work hard and know that in life you are given nothing. Okay, so work hard, no expectations, and try to be nice people, be good people. When you put your head down on the pillow at night, know that you were a good person and tried your best.
That's good.
I would say to a few things. 100% allow yourself to be exactly who you are. We're all unique flavors of ice cream, and we applaud those that go after their dream. The Lady Gagas of the world, the people that I've worked with. So be authentically you and don't let anybody else tell you that you should be any different. That's number one. Number two, that you should 100%, like Caroline said, work like you're the hardest working person in the room. You'll get recognized for that. And mostly that if you're an entitled person and you're given a lot of things, you'll never really know the meaning of earning it. When you earn something and you work really hard for it, the reward is so much more valuable than it had being given to you. There's nothing like looking back on what it is that you've accomplished, and I can say that for myself, that you can look back and say really proudly that that was all me. Not a lot of people tell me that they're proud of me. I'm proud of me. And I think you'll be proud of yourselves if it's authentically you and that you did it as much of it as it has to be yours doing. I think the reward is greater at that level.
Cool. Thank you guys for doing this. This was so fun. I really appreciate it.
Very fun, except for the chocolate under my nails.
My nails are pretty
Yeah, I can't believe that the donut gave me more problems than the other. That's kind of surprising.
I
But
bonded with the donut.
yeah, you know, there's one with a spider on it back there we can give you if you're into it.
You know, it's one of those things I'm not really into either. Donuts and grapes.
Donuts and grapes.
Do you like a donut or a cupcake?
Ooh, good question.
Good question. I love a donut. I like a good Boston cream or an old fashioned. Done. Nothing else. Or I like a red velvet, really moist red velvet with delicious cream cheese frosting. Done.
Wait, you're the sparkle guy and you don't like sprinkles?
I am sprinkles.
So you don't need it on your donut.
Donuts all the way. Any kind of donut.
Any kind of donut?
Donut. I love a cupcake, but donuts are my favorite. You said here's a donut, here's a cupcake, I'm thinking donut.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla, old fashioned.
Old fashioned? Really?
You know why?
Yes.
No mess.
Vanilla old fashioned donuts are good.
What about you?
I'm sprinkle all the way. Like
Sprinkle
the
girl?
more sprinkle the
See how,
better.
isn't that lovely how we're all different?
I I like that. I do think I'm sprinkly on my own too, but I do like sprinkles on my donut. You know. All right, cool. Thanks guys, appreciate it.